must be protected. Elon Musk is not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk is not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk was not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk is not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk was not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk was not elected. You are a fascist. Hope you sleep well at night. You are fascist enablers.
Alright guys, so we are outside the Tesla dealership in New York City. Protesters have occupied the showroom. Some of them are being arrested right now. Yeah. So we have about 5 or 6 protesters that are still inside the dealership. They are sitting on the floor, occupying the space. We have protesters out here. Alright guys,
Nobody voted for Elon Musk. 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 Nobody voted for Elon You ugly! U-G-L-Y! Elon Musk, you cheat, you lie, you ugly! You ugly! U-G-L-Y! Elon Musk, you cheat, you lie, you ugly! You ugly! U-G-L-Y! Elon Musk, you cheat and lie, you ugly! You ugly! U-G-L-Y! Elon Musk, you cheat and lie, you ugly! You ugly! U-G-L-Y! Elon Musk, you cheat and lie, you ugly! You ugly!
Alright, the NYPD has SRG moving in.
Elon Musk, you cheat and
What's up?
lie, you ugly! Fascism sucks! Fascism sucks!
Smash that like button, share this live stream.
Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Alright, Jordan will be here in a few minutes. Smash that like button, share this live stream. Again, we are outside the Tesla dealership in New York City, where protesters have occupied the showroom. I'm not sure. Oh, they're being arrested right now, I believe. Let me see.
Fuck Elon Musk! Elon Musk is not elected. Be protected. Elon Musk is.
Alright, so there you have it. All the protesters are out of the showroom now.
Elon Musk is not elected.
Democracy must be protected.
Democracy must be protected. Oh, we're a little weak. Elon Musk is not elected. So I'm good.
Hey, let's go home. Bring it around.
If you're the press, have your press pass out. To the press.
Elon Musk is not elected.
Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk is not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk is not elected. Democracy must be protected. Elon Musk is not elected. Democracy must be protected.
Elon Musk is not elected.
Democracy must be protected.
Elon Musk is not elected.
Democracy must be protected. UGL.
Stand down! Stand down, everybody! Stand down!
For the third time.
No, you didn't say that.
We're civilians. I told you we're civilians.
What are
Don't know
civilians
that.
doing here?
You want
don't
our
answer
job.
questions.
Oh, you don't answer questions?
don't answer questions.
Okay, great. I'll just do a FOIA. Have
That's
fun.
fine.
Yep, I'm a lawyer too, so.
Let's look for Jordan. Jordan should be here. All right, give me a second, everybody. I gotta see where Jordan is. There you go. There he is.
There he is.
Hold on, he's not on. Hold on, it's not on yet.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hold on, folks, we're just getting set up here. I see So we are right outside Tesla headquarters in, I guess this is what, Tribeca, New York City? Yeah, Tribeca, New York City. Constitution, yes. Musk, no. Smash the like button, share this live stream. Looks like,
There was about 5 people inside the showroom. They got arrested. But yeah, now everybody's out here.
so let's get a little bit closer. Meatpacking district. I used to live in the city, I forgot. We're in the meatpacking district.
Corporations! People make nations, not 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 corporations! People make nations.
So this is a continuation of protests that have gone on outside Tesla dealerships in New York and other locations. It looks like well over 100 people so far. With the crowd is building. Like John said, you already had about 5 protesters arrested inside the showroom, and of course they're out here protesting Elon Musk, who nobody elected, and his role that President Trump has handed him after Elon Musk gave $270 million to Trump's campaign. Thus far, Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, i.e. DOGE, has laid off workers in the Social Security Administration, the Federal Aviation Administration, the National Institution of Health, the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, pretty much any department you can name. Also, the National Park Services, forest rangers. Reports came out the other day that cabinet members in Trump's administration are fed up, and there was a confrontation in front of Trump in the White House between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Elon Musk, as well as Sean Duffy, who is the Transportation Secretary. Reportedly, Duffy confronted Musk because Musk has been pressuring Duffy to fire more air traffic controllers. I'm paraphrasing, but Duffy said, "You want me to fire air traffic controllers as we have this insane increase in plane crashes? You want me to lay off air traffic controllers as we have planes falling out of the sky and people dying on those planes?" So that's what people are out here for. Based on my reading of it, I don't even know if what Elon Musk is doing is legal. I don't even know if Doge is legal, what they're doing, because, of course, the money they are cutting has already been appropriated by Congress. So we're going to surf around. We'll show you a chance. I'll interview people. It is very windy, so apologies if you're hearing wind, but it's very windy in New York. Smash the like button. Share this live stream. We got 3,500 watching. I need every single person. Smash that like button. Share this live stream. I do not see CNN here. I do not see many mainstream media here. I don't care if you're progressive. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're a libertarian. I don't really care what you are. Nobody elected Elon Musk. Can you imagine? Just imagine. And MAGA, if you're watching, take off your red hat for a second, MAGA. What would you do if President Obama appointed Bill Gates or George Soros to run a Department of Government Efficiency and start laying off tens of thousands of government workers? Would you be cool with that? I don't think you would. So just because it's your guy, Trump, you got to take the blinders off. And by the way, not only are people protesting Musk and Trump and this unelected billionaire, the world's richest man, who, by the way, it recently came out has gotten $38 billion. Let me repeat, $38 billion in free government money from the government. So he's here laying off government workers as he's feeding from the tit of the government. That is oligarchy, billionaire hypocrisy with no end. He's gotten $38 billion in government subsidies, but at the same time, the Republican budget is calling for nearly $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid. So as Elon Musk is getting $38 billion in free money from the government, as Elon Musk, in his unelected role, has literally taken a contract from Verizon and given it to himself, his Starlink. He took a massive contract away from Verizon, gave it to himself. Him and Republicans are pushing to cut almost $1 trillion from poor people and their health care. Make it make sense. All right, smash the like button, share this live stream. If you can, leave a super chat. And of course, this On the Ground Reported is funded by you. We are out here. John was out here earlier in the week covering protests outside of Fox News headquarters. So we're out here funded by you. So if you can, support us, statuscoup.com/join. They're chanting, nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for Elon Musk.
Nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for Elon Musk.
Got a I didn't vote for him button. So there you go. Can I talk to you, sir? What's your name?
Robert McCarthy.
Tell me why you think it's important to be out here. Obviously, this is growing. There's been protests outside other Tesla dealerships. Why is it important to you?
Because I'd like to see our country not turned into an oligarchy run by billionaires with an idiot in office who will further their advancement and profit. So, of course, I'm here. I was demonstrating decades ago against the Vietnam War and things like that. So it's the same kind of thing. You always have to keep fighting for democracy. It's not a sure thing. It can be lost easily. We have to do this.
You know, what's interesting to me, I covered Trump in 2016, and he kind of presented himself as anti-establishment. I'm going to go against the banks and this and that. Meanwhile, I mean, there's reports that donors are paying $5 million to have dinner with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Elon Musk just gave himself a contract. He took it from Verizon. I mean, the corruption is not really subtle.
No. And I mean, with Trump, I always think the presidency for him is where you can generate the most cash. That's how he's used it. He was a bankrupt, many times bankrupt businessman who came back to life in this stupid television show, The Apprentice, as some kind of successful genius businessman, which he's not, clearly. His brains are mushy. He was very, very intelligent, very ignorant, can't read, and he's the president, elected twice. You know, my head's still spinning. Twice.
Let me ask you, because there's a lot of people concerned that Elon Musk and his Doge, they seem to be using AI to fire government workers. They're using this machines and algorithms to make lists of government workers to fire. And a lot of people are concerned that this is just the test run, and they're going to try to use this in the private sector to lay off more workers. What do you think about that?
Well, that'd be wonderful, because it'll totally crash the economy, crash the world economy. So, yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Another brilliant idea from Trump and his... and, of course, some will make out really well. I think the people in the know, the short sellers, whatever, they'll be fine. They'll pick up the pieces for pennies. And the rest of us will be out of garbage cans again. I mean, I'm on Social Security, so this is really important for me, because that's part of how I'm going to be able to live in the future.
And do you see any contradiction or hypocrisy between Elon Musk and these Republicans are talking about all the waste, fraud, and abuse in government, yet it recently came out Elon Musk has gotten $38 billion in free government contracts. That seems a little hypocritical.
I mean, if there really is waste, fraud, and corruption, Why do they fire all the inspector generals? It's bullshit. It's a way to cut benefits and programs. Claim corruption. Where's the proof? We'll show you later. We're working on that. It's all bullshit. It's all about, I mean, the conservative element in this country have had their eyes on Social Security for decades. They've always hated it. They want to see people who are retired or can no longer work living hand to mouth. That's the way it was in the 1930s. I think there's people nostalgic for that.
Do you think this whole waste, fraud, and abuse is really them trying to take a side door to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid?
I absolutely think that, yes. Oh, it's all corrupt. We're paying out benefits to people who are 300 years old. I mean, really. Show me. Tell me one person who's collecting a benefit for somebody who's been dead for, 200 years? Show me that.
And, my last question, what are your thoughts on the Democratic opposition? There's been a lot of complaints that they're not fighting hard enough. A lot of people have said they shouldn't even be showing up to vote because Doge is illegal in the first place. Do you feel the Democrats are fighting back hard enough?
I think they could fight harder. I think someone broached the idea of Democrats doing town halls or Democrats doing daily press conferences to counteract the bullshit. That'd be great. I mean, we got some really smart people in the party. Buttigieg is really a smart guy and very articulate. I'd like to see him doing more, but not enough.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, you got people on the drums here. We got over 5,000 people watching. Smash that like button. Share the live stream. 5,000 people watching. Smash that like button. Let me show you this sign here too. This woman says, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable." Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Tell me, why is it so important for you to be out here today?
Because we're in crazy times here. And I honestly believe that these fuckers are here to uproot the systems that we have, and hopefully something better will come in place, but we're going to be the ones that are going to have to do it. You know, we're going to have to rebuild after they fuck everything up. You know? Yeah.
You know, it's interesting to me because I'm reading more and more how Musk and his Doge are using AI, artificial intelligence, to just gut the government agencies, and a lot of people are worried this is kind of a test run to then do it in the private sector and lay off workers.
Yeah, I believe they're definitely going to try. They're going to try. I mean, hopefully, again, it's going to be up to us to kind of like take that step and make AI work for us and help us to get to a better state of things. So, yeah, it's up to us. These guys are going to bring it down. They're going to try to bring it down. They're bringing it down. And we're going to be the ones that have to collectively work together and figure out how we're going to make it better and how we're going to rebuild.
Your sign about the famous quote from JFK, at a certain point, if the people keep getting, stomped on, cutting $1 trillion in Medicaid, screwing with people's Social Security, do you worry that this peaceful can turn violent?
Absolutely. I have been peaceful protesting mainly for the environment for years and years. And it's like we're running our head up against the wall. Carbon emissions are going up. The more peaceful protests are going on. So clearly, they're telling us this is not the way to do it. This is not working. So what else can we do? I mean, I feel like Luigi Mangione was like Fort Sumter, like the first shot, we're done. We're done. We can't do this anymore. We've tried for years and years and years. It's not working.
I got to be honest with you. I see more resistance from actual people than I do the Democratic Party. The first Democrat that's even really, other than Bernie going around the country, was Al Green, who
no one supported him.
Right. What's your thoughts on the Democratic Party? They seem
they have to go down too. Sorry.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I was like, you all have to. These systems are set up to attract the worst kind of people into our political arena. The worst kind. We need a new system. The Democrat. they're all the same. They're all shilling for corporate donors. They're all doing the same thing. They have to raise all this money to get into office, Democrat, Republican, whatever. These systems have to come down.
I always say it ain't blue, it ain't red. It's green. The only color that matters is green.
And not the trees and leaves green. The money green.
What's your message to people, including my father, who drive Teslas? What should they know about Mr. Musk? Because there are people starting to trade in their Teslas. They don't want to be associated with it. What's your message to people?
Teslas are good cars. Like, I know people who have Teslas. I say, if you don't want to get rid of it, put a bumper sticker on it. And, like, at least get yourself out of the thing. Be like, I don't agree. Custom make a bumper sticker. Put it on your Tesla if you don't want to get rid of it.
What do you think? What do you think Fox News and Republicans' reaction would be if Obama or President Biden appointed, I don't know, Bill Gates or name your Democratic donor to run Doge? You think they'd be okay with that?
No, it's just hypocritical. But like that kind of rhetoric is like, to me, it's like pointless. Like, we know this. Like, yeah, of course that's what they would do. Right. Like, let's not waste time talking about this. Let's waste time fucking bringing this down.
And my last question: what would you like to see this kind of spread around the country, not just against Musk and Republicans, but kind of demanding more for the Democrats? Because I don't think the answer is to return back to normal corporate Democrats. Right.
I don't think we can. I think anyone that says, oh, we're going to look to the next election, and I think they're delusional, honestly. Like, we're done with that old system. Gen Z is the first generation to kind of look at this, like, decorum and everything we call it, and be like, fuck this. Like, why are we doing this? This is not working. So unless the Democrats want to seriously look at themselves and uproot and become a real left party, not a fucking, like, moderate right, and still shill for corporate donors, listen to the people. We don't want you shilling for corporate donors. We want you putting in policy that are going to make us safe, that are going to make us healthy, that are going to give us healthy food. Like, it's not hard. You just have to, but like I said, this system is set up for profit. So if it's set up for profit, where can you go from there?
What's your name?
Meredith.
Thank you, Meredith. Appreciate it.
I love Status Coup.
Oh, thank you. Say it louder.
I love Status Coup. It's like the only place I watch.
Thank you. So that was Meredith with the promotion of Status Coup. We got 6,000 people watching. Smash that like button. Share the live stream. We are one of the only independent outlets in the country. We are one of the only independent outlets in the country routinely on the ground, covering what the corporate media covers up. It is super important. It takes a lot of resources. It's not cheap to go on the ground. We got to pay camera people, reporters. We got to pay for equipment. We travel and cover a lot of things in other parts of the country. So if you can support us, sign up as a member for as low as $5 a month. StatusCoup.com/join. StatusCoup.com/join. I want to show you this sign too. Deport Elon. He is the immigrant that is stealing our jobs. Hashtag Tesla takedown.
All right. Okay. For the past, mic check! Mic check! For the past 2.5 years. I have been working with TB-affected communities. On a USAID grant. To expand access to treatment and diagnostics. For the world's deadliest disease.
For the world's deadliest infectious disease.
That was context. On January 24th, the Trump administration, under the directive of a man whose primary expertise is in outdated memes, sorry, I'm going for it.
Fucking asshole.
Issued a stop work order. On all USAID funded activities. In the days that followed, individuals around the world journeyed to their clinics, food kitchens, and water depots. Only to face shuttered facilities with no alternatives for care or sustenance. Overnight, countless people lost access to the critical lifelines that sustained them, their families, and their communities. With the cancellation of just 3 of these grants, 350,000 people in 3 countries experience this exact scenario. Overnight, they lost access to the HIV treatment they relied on to survive. Including 10,000 children and 10,000 pregnant women. The so-called pro-life party betrayed and discarded. In their quest to lower taxes for the ultra-wealthy. Boo. Shame. This figure may seem paltry. To those who measure their wealth in the multi-billions. But the scale of loss of human life will wreak unimaginable devastation on countless communities worldwide. Mothers, children, friends, entire families, lost to preventable diseases, malnutrition, and lack of health care. All so that an entitled man can get closer to being the world's first trillionaire. Shame! Yes. My colleagues and I in global health will be the first to tell you the system isn't perfect. But the man directing these cuts is unqualified. With no expertise, mandate, or authority to assess the positive impact of any USAID project. There is no alternative to fill the void left by Musk and the Trump administration. They took a wrecking ball to a system that tens of millions of people worldwide rely on to merely exist. People will die.
People will die.
Sorry, editing my speech in real time. People wanted cheaper eggs and gas.
People wanted cheaper eggs and gas.
People need wage growth and lower cost of living.
People need wage growth and lower cost of living.
Gutting USAID programs.
Gutting USAID programs.
Won't help inflation.
Won't help inflation.
It won't make Americans healthier.
It won't make Americans healthier.
And it certainly won't make America greater.
And it certainly won't make America greater.
Divesting from USAID.
Divesting from USAID.
Will make America more vulnerable.
Will make America more vulnerable.
It will cost American jobs.
It will cost American jobs.
And it will make the world and America less safe.
And it will make the world and America less safe.
Creating opportunities.
Creating opportunities.
For tyrants and authoritarians.
For tyrants and authoritarians.
To carve away at human rights.
To carve away at human rights.
At home.
At home.
And abroad.
And abroad.
It is our responsibility to each other.
It is our responsibility to each other.
Our fellow Americans.
Our fellow Americans.
And communities the world over.
And communities the world over.
To show up and push back.
To show up and push back.
Against an administration.
Against an administration.
Hell-bent.
Hell-bent.
On dismantling and destroying our world.
On dismantling and destroying our world.
We are here today.
We are here today.
To say no.
To say no.
To Elon's deadly power grab.
To Elon's deadly power grab.
By disrupting his businesses.
By disrupting his businesses.
We are rejecting Musk.
We are rejecting Musk.
Trump.
Trump.
And the billionaire classes.
And the billionaire classes.
Attack on USAID.
Attack on USAID.
And defending.
And defending.
A brighter. More just. Future for all.
Future for all.
Thank you. Trump lies, people die.
So, just to kind of set the scene, because you can't see all the signs, we got send Musk to Mars now. So, somebody made a SpaceX sign with Musk on the rocket, sending him to the moon. You got defund Nazis. You got climate emergency. You got Doge, Department of Gutless Edgelords. That's a funny one. I'm telling them what the signs say. Trump is a loser. Elon is a beta. You got Trump lies all the time. Stop, felon. That's funny. Stop, felon. I showed you deport Elon. He is the immigrant that is stealing our jobs. We got, I guess she's a chicken.
Don't be a chicken in the coop.
Don't be a chicken in the coop. And I think that's in reference, Trump said, I'm going to lower prices on day one. Well, obviously, with the bird flu spreading everywhere, egg prices went through the roof to the point that we are now importing eggs from other countries. So the Trump administration's brilliant idea, the agricultural secretary said, hey, if you're upset about egg prices being, $10 to $12 a carton, just grow chickens in your backyard. So somebody's dressed as a chicken, which is pretty brilliant. You got people chanting, hey, hey, ho, ho, Elon Musk has got to go. Can I talk to you?
What?
Can I ask you about your sign?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, Elon, they're talking a lot about, quote, illegal immigrants, but as you're saying, he's the original one.
Yeah, so Elon is not an American citizen, or not born in America, yet he's acting like our president. He is not from here, but he's firing Americans who do important jobs that keep us safe, jobs that keep us, keep the wheels of everything running. We are going to have a more dangerous country. Planes are going to fall from the sky. sky. Tornadoes are going to come without warning, all because of stupid, nonsensical cuts by Elon and his cadre of 18-year-old dipshits.
You know, you mentioned planes falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
There's a report that Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy basically confronted Musk because Musk has been pushing him to fire more air traffic controllers while we have all these plane crashes.
Well, it's proof that Elon is being so stupid that even an absolute cretin like Duffy can point out the obvious. That when people like the gang of idiots that Trump has put together for a cabinet are all saying that Elon is being destructive and being disruptive, then that really says everything we need to know. Idiots! Like, again, the kind of people who only get their jobs by, kissing Trump's ring can all look at Elon Musk and say, no, this is wrong. We have crossed an ethical line. It is, it's the worst person you know being right. And that's terrifying.
And let me ask you, what's your message to MAGA, who, a lot of people think they'll follow Trump and whatever he says, but you even see some Republicans around the country at town halls furious about this.
So, what I have to say to MAGA America is it is not too late for you to do something to save our country. We will take you back. We don't want division. That it is not Republican versus Democrat. It's not MAGA versus libs. It is us, the regular people, versus the wealthy and the powerful. It is us versus them, and we will welcome everyone who voted for Trump but realized that they were wrong. We need to take them in because they were told that we are a rabid mob that are gonna turn all their kids trans or whatever. We need to show that no, we are Americans. We are Americans. They are Americans. We need to. So to MAGA, I say it is not too late. It is never too late to do the right thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So very, very passionate people out here. And just so you know, it looks to me like you got maybe between 150, 200 people here, right on a corner street in the meatpacking district in New York City. So a pretty good crowd. It is pretty cold out, and it's very, 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 very windy. But you got between 150, 200 people out here. Let's keep going.
How can you not see? Musk is a Nazi. How can you not see? Musk is a Nazi. How can you not see? Musk is a Nazi.
Can I talk to you, ma'am?
Sure, I'm terrible on camera. But
Yeah, that's okay. Fox lies. Remove Trump. Tell me, Trump originally ran like he was anti-establishment, and now he's handed the world's richest man the keys to the government.
Because of course he has. He's been a liar and a con man for 40 years. We've known that here in New York City. We know who he is. He showed the world who he is, and somehow people bought it. America was conned largely by Fox, but by others, and they're a danger to democracy, and they're trying to burn the whole thing down and reap the spoils. So we have to fight back every day.
It's interesting. You have the Fox lies. Fox for many years was going crazy about Hunter Biden and all of his corruption. They're very quiet about Musk just handed himself a massive contract from Verizon. It's reported Musk's wealth has gone up $150 billion. They're all quiet.
Yeah, well, they're all liars, and they know perfectly well what they're doing. Rupert Murdoch and Lachlan Murdoch are adjudged liars. They paid out $750 million in the defamation suit with the election company, and they've got more suits against them. So we know they're liars, and they have no right to be lying to the American American public for decade after decade.
In addition to what Musk is doing, the Republican budget is calling to cut almost $1 trillion in Medicaid. There's a lot of conservatives on Medicaid, too. What would be your message to Trump supporters?
MAGA's on Medicaid, so you're in danger, girl. Call your congressperson. What I can say, do what we're doing. Call your congressperson, get out in the streets, call out the bullshit, and defend yourself. Defend yourself, if nothing else.
Are you worried because Musk and his little teenage, Doge, they're using artificial intelligence to cut the government? They're just using algorithms, and a lot of people are worried that this is kind of a test run to use it in the regular economy to lay off more workers.
Look at the work of Dave Troy, look at the work of Jim Stewartson, look at the work of Bill Duran, look it up, people. Curtis Yarvin, their philosopher. Google it. What can I tell you? We've known this for several years, if not longer, and people just have to defend themselves. So MAGA, get a clue, look it up, and defend yourself, if no one else. But we're out here defending our democracy.
My last question. I got to be honest, I see more fight and resistance in people out here than I do the Democratic Party. Do you feel the Democratic Party needs to be doing more?
49.8% is not a mandate. Donald Trump is a loser. He's always been a loser. He does not have a mandate. We only lost by 1-point-something%, and it was because folks stayed home. That's a shame. They should have come out and voted for Kamala Harris, and then we wouldn't be having to do this. We'd be protesting for other reasons to move our country forward and get progress and build on the progress that we've been making for the last 40, 50 years. But no, instead we had to roll it all back. So we're out here. I'm a Democrat. I'm fighting. I'm not going to stop fighting.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
So that was a woman. I'm going to move over so I don't lose my hearing. Hold on. So we got 7,000 people watching. 7,000. Smash that like button. Share this live stream so we can get it out to more people. The more people that press the like button, the more people that will see this. If you can support this independent, we don't have any funding from Elon Musk. We don't have any funding from Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos or any of the fuckers buying off the Republicans or the Democrats, because the Democrats are plenty corrupt too, sorry to tell you. So our funding comes from you, the people. Support us for $5 a month, which is 16 cents a day. StatusCoup.com/join. You can become a member and support real, on-the-ground, independent journalism for $5 a month. All right. They're chanting, they're chanting, pay your share, pay your share. Let's go into the crowd, talk to some people. Can I talk to you? Okay. Elon Musk is not my president. You see that? There you go. There we go. Can I talk to you, sir? Put him in a K-hole. Tell me why you think it's so important to be out here.
Because it's an oligarch funding the president with his own very self-interested, dark agenda.
Yeah. And, it's really crazy to me. Trump is right now charging people $5 billion to have dinner with him at Mar-a-Lago. People, billionaires are paying $1 million to eat with him in a group setting. Elon, it just came out, has gotten $38 billion in government contracts, but they want to lecture America.
It's the natural evolution of Citizens United. It's like unfettered money in politics. The whole system is corrupt.
What do you think of the Republican Party, who has criticized Democrats? They criticize Biden, Hunter Biden, corruption. They're quiet as a mouse on all of this. They don't seem to want to say a word about this.
It's a red herring. It's a red herring. The Biden family should not have been. It was not wise or.
But what do you think of Republicans are quiet about Trump handing the keys to the government?
Oh, because they're enormous hypocrites, and they're it's just that's part and parcel with Republicans. I mean, it's,
Tell me, what's your sign mean? Put him in a K-hole.
oh, when you do too much ketamine, you know, he's addicted to ketamine.
Yeah.
A K-hole is like you go into this very, like, you can't even move and you're in, like, this dark place.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. More health care, fewer billionaires. See that sign? Doge, Department of Gutless Edgelords. Another one, the 4 branches of government for Elon. Can I talk to you, sir? Tell me about your sign.
Yeah, so there's a new government agency, and it's called the Department of Gutless Edgelords. They're basically Nazis, and they're people that don't work for the people. They work for themselves and their own monetary benefit.
That's quite the throwback picture you got there too.
Yeah, this is the real deal right here. This is the beast in the castle.
You know, there's obviously serious things at stake here. He's telling the government, lay off air traffic controllers. Planes are falling out of the sky. Right. They laid off nuclear workers who protect nuclear stockpile.
Right.
Gutting Social Security. MAGA is going to feel this too, correct?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, what this activity shows is that government matters. And of course there is fraud, waste, and corruption, but there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, and this is the absolute wrong way to do things, and it's affecting all of the people who are the most vulnerable. So,
do you think there's been a lot of reporting that Musk and his allies are using artificial intelligence to go in, compile lists of government workers to fire, which obviously is pretty haphazard? A lot of people are worried they're just using this as a test run to then deploy it wider in the normal economy and lay off more workers.
I mean, that's news to me, but it's scary. And I think if there's one thing that we know for sure, it's that Elon Musk will use new technologies nefariously. Starlink, for example, turning off internet to the people that need it the most who can't get it any other way. There's one person that's deciding how he's going to provide these resources for folks, and that's extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Obviously, this is focused on Musk, but you have Jeff Bezos, who's kissed the ring of Trump, right. Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of big tech CEOs. What's your message to the rest of the Billionaire Boys Club?
We see what you're doing. We see how much money you've donated to this campaign, and I think that the American people that may not have known what they were voting for at first are starting to understand what they really voted for. I mean, you get what you pay for. If you have billionaires exclusively funding your campaign, it's going to be an administration that benefits exclusively billionaires. So we're waking up and we're fighting back.
What are your thoughts on the Democratic Party? Because I'm seeing more resistance from folks here than I am elected Democrats. Yeah. I mean, they're censuring the one Democrat that confronted Trump, Congressman Al Green. Right. They're talking about decorum, while Trump and the world's richest man just gut the government.
Right. What we found out is that Republicans don't play. They don't. What am I trying to say?
Play by the rules.
They don't play by the rules, right? And so we need to have more imagination, and we need to be willing to fight tooth and nail to save democracy. When you have... I'm sorry, I'm noticing that some of these folks are coming from the Women's March, so I'm just excited that there's more people that are coming. But, sorry, I forgot what I was saying.
You got to fight stronger for democracy, you were saying.
Oh, yeah, Democrats need to start figuring out how best to fight this, because what they're doing right now isn't working. Decorum doesn't work. Censuring a Democrat who's vocally speaking against this administration that's already harming so many people is not the way to do this. Right. You have to fight back, and you have to start doing it in a different way, because you're losing. You're getting stomped on.
Yeah. So. And also, what he was saying was you don't have a mandate to gut Medicaid.
Right.
And they're not even talking about that, right. The leadership of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I think that Democrats need to start thinking about the average person and start speaking to those people. I think their message in this past campaign was lost. I think that it was mismanaged from the get-go, but the thing that's most troubling is that they're not reaching out to folks that may not normally vote for them. But I think there's a lot of middle ground in the kinds of things we want. The messaging has to be better, and it has to be for the lower and middle class. Absolutely. It has to be. And we got to get money out of politics.
Amen. What's your name?
Ethan.
Thanks, Ethan. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Elon, go back to Mars. And just to kind of set the scene, when I got here, it looked like there were about, I'd say, 100 or so people. Now it's gotten a lot bigger, I believe, because there is a women's march that was going on. And I think that women's march, folks from the march have come here. So a lot more people. I really am enjoying that chicken, the chicken costume.
I like your work.
Oh, thank you.
I like your work. Appreciate you.
Can I talk to you?
Sure.
We got a Status Coup viewer in the crowd here. Tell me, I was just telling people I see more resistance and fight from the people out here than I do the entire Democratic Party.
Yes.
Talk to me about where is the opposition, really?
Well, I think the Democratic Party is useless, personally. I voted Green this election.
So did I.
I appreciate that also. I mean, honestly, I'm what they call Gen X. Right? I was born in 1971, and I enlisted in the military after high school. But I quickly, after traveling around the world and stuff, I realized sort of U.S. imperialism was not cool. Like, I had an admiral tell my ship when we were in the Middle East, 1994, oh, you boys want to know why we're here? We're here just here for oil. And but I remember when...
I just want to stop for a second.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. His admiral basically gave the game away. Hey, you guys, you're actually here to steal other people's oil. Anyway, go ahead.
But when I was first in the military, I joined a Christian kind of cult, and I was very much like Jesus. Jesus wouldn't want to be, bombing people, right? So I actually didn't want to be in the military anymore, but I was sort of stuck there. But they used to market us, before they called us Generation X, they were calling us the MTV generation. And they were encouraging us to vote for Bill Clinton. And it was called Rock the Vote. It was the Rock the Vote campaign. And he was signaling a lot that he wanted to end the conflicts in the Middle East, Bill Clinton says. And his phrase was, we want to decrease military spending, right? So I voted for Clinton, I'm pretty sure. I might have voted for Ross Perot in that election. I forget, but I was all on aboard like, okay, Bill Clinton's going to kind of get us out of this mess in the Middle East. One of the first things he did in 1993 is he bombed the fuck out of Iraq. And I did a deployment to the Arabian Gulf in 92 and 93. But when I saw Bill Clinton was like full of shit, that's kind of when the Democratic Party lost its appeal to me.
I think a lot of Democrats who have been, loyal Democrats for a long time, a lot of them are opening their eyes that actually both parties are corrupt. I mean, this form of corruption is more on steroids, Elon Musk, Trump. But I think a lot of people are realizing the corruption was always here. It was just more subtle and more behind the scenes. Democrats taking corporate money from defense contractors, big pharma, Wall Street. Now it's just Trump's not even trying to hide it. Musk's not trying to hide it.
Yeah, and they're celebrating it. And, I voted for Bernie Sanders in 2016 in the primaries, and that was the first time in a long time I got excited about someone. And then I felt like the Democratic Party threw him under the bus. They made Hillary the nominee. And then in 2020, they threw Bernie under the bus again. I actually voted for Trump in 2020 because I was so pissed at the Democratic Party. And then when January 6th happened, I said, okay, I'm done with Trump too. And then I voted for Jill Stein in this election. So I don't know. I'm not the most informed person, but and I'm learning about this. Like a lot of these guys like J.D. Vance are fans of like Curtis Yarvin, and who's basically saying, oh yeah, fuck democracy. We need a dictatorship, basically a monarchy. And that's scary.
The ironic and very sad thing, and a lot of MAGA voters might not know this. Trump and Vance, they like to fashion themselves as populists and anti-establishment. But the only reason Vance is even in office is because of a guy named Peter Thiel, who's a tech oligarch who put in $15 million to his Senate campaign. Trump got $270 million from Elon Musk, and what do you know? He's handed Elon Musk the keys to the government. So whether it's Democrats, Republicans, they are all taking money from big tech or big pharma or the military-industrial complex. The only difference now is Trump. He's kind of just dropped the veil. He's dropped the curtain. And hey, this is what it is. I mean, Trump is charging donors $5 million to have dinner with him at Mar-a-Lago, and MAGA, I guess they don't care about that corruption. I'm pretty sure if Biden or Obama had Bill Gates run a Department of Government Efficiency, Fox News would be going nuts. But Republicans are pretty quiet about it right now.
You know, the no-bid contracts that Musk is getting is an example of this corruption. I remember back when the George W. Bush, when he took down Saddam Hussein's government, right, and they had $12 billion set aside to rebuild Iraq, and they were giving away no-bid contracts to like Halliburton and Enron and those kind of companies. Well, the man that the George W. Bush administration put in charge of that $12 billion reconstruction budget was the retired admiral that told me back a decade earlier when I was in the Gulf that we were there for oil. It's the same kind of game, but it's just...
What are your thoughts on they're laying off, it seems, thousands and thousands of veterans at the Veterans Administration, other departments? I didn't even know 30% of government workers are veterans. I thought Republicans, love the flag and we're the party of the veterans. Well, they're gutting, they're firing government workers that are veterans.
Yeah, that's, in my opinion, like, I don't expect any kind of special treatment if I'm a veteran or whatever, but it seems like part of the New Deal that FDR did, right, was using the government to get people working, right? Let's build bridges, let's build dams. We could use big projects to hire people, but there's a conflict of interest between that mindset and what the trend is let's eliminate workers with AI and automation, just eliminate workers in general. Corporations want to eliminate workers, and yet the politicians always talk about creating jobs. There's no incentive for corporate America to create jobs. It's like they look at it as like a necessary evil.
I actually think, in my opinion, what Musk is doing, they're using AI to lay off workers. They're using AI to compile a list of workers to cut.
Just like United Health did to deny claims.
And United Healthcare used AI to deny claims. There was a 90% error rate. Let me repeat, a 90% error rate. Whatever you think of Luigi Mangione, this was part of his opposition to what they were doing. I feel like this is a test run. They're using AI on the government before they start accelerating it in the normal economy to lay off workers.
It's just going to create a whole lot of more jobless people. Like I think that universal basic income is one possible solution. I read a book one time. I picked up a book. It was MLK. He wrote a book. It was based on his speeches called "Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos and Community." And he proposed a universal basic income, but it wasn't just in order to deal with the inequality getting out of hand. He said we gotta tie the bottom of the universal basic income to whatever the mean income is of the society. That way, if the oligarchs get super rich, they'll still pull up the baseline of the universal income. And I like that idea. I don't know if it'll work or not, but
my last question. If the Democratic Party is going to continue to have its head up its ass, if the Democratic Party is going to basically respond to a blazing house fire, bringing a super soaker, should more people start talking about maybe now is the time to really build a third party?
Yeah, I think so. There was some buzz a year or so ago about the People's Party. That was one. I think that fizzled out. I voted for Green Party. They don't seem to get much attraction. But, yeah, I've been for a long time, for decades, I've been looking for another kind of party, or just have somebody who's an independent, like, do really good. I think Bernie Sanders identified as an independent for a lot of his campaigns, even though he was still part of the Democratic Party. I think in his own state he ran as an independent.
Bernie Sanders, even though the Democratic Party fucked him 2 times, he's right now going around the country.
Yeah, he's hot.
83 years old.
I like what he has to say, yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Absolutely. All right. Keep smashing that like button. Share the live stream. Let's get it out to more people. Let me give some shout-outs here. We got over 8,000 people watching, so please, please, smash that like button. Share the live stream. The more people that press like, the more people that will see the live stream. Let me read some super chats so I could give some shout outs to people who have supported us during this stream. Hold on. All right. Perry, $5. Thank you, Perry. Jordan, after Elon goes, do these people want the Dems back? Get rid of the Dems and Republicans back Shama Sawant. Well, I can't speak for all of these people, but a few of the people I've been talking to have been very outspoken, and it's been music to my ears that the Democrats are fucking corrupt and useless too. So, you know, I would say some of the older people out here are probably more traditional Democrats. I don't know if at one protest if I can unwire their minds against the Democratic Party, but I think a lot of people out here are starting to wake up that, to be clear, the corruption that Trump and Musk are doing is much, much, much worse than the normal corruption we see for the Democratic Party. I don't want to give you a false equivalence. Right now, with Trump, Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, it is night and day worse than the Democrats. But that doesn't mean the Democrats are a party of integrity. They're corrupt too. And that's part of why I don't really think they're fighting that strongly against this attempted coup of the government. What are they going to come out for Medicare for all? What are they going to come out for a Green New Deal? Talking about the more corporate traditional Democrats. They're not going to do that because they're still trying to get the same billionaire money. It was reported that Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat minority leader, instead of organizing and leading protests, was going to do backdoor meetings with Silicon Valley billionaires to try and get them back. That's not what Democrats should be doing. Minobird, $1.99. Thank you. Alexa, $1.99. Thank you for your reporting. Thank you. Perry, $2. No, the Dems facilitate Republican fascism. I don't disagree. Perry, $5. Jordan, you should be at Columbia University supporting Palestine like you used to be. Hey, Perry, we've covered over 100 pro-Palestine protests. When I say we, John behind the camera has covered over 100 Palestine protests. Name one other outlet that has covered 10. So I don't want to hear that we haven't covered enough Palestine protests. We're trying to cover as much as we can. We're a very small crew, unfortunately. Mark, $2. GOP equals greed over people. Denise, $2. Doge, Department of Greed and Evil. Keneye, $2. Support Status Coup. I agree. John the Don, $2. Keep it up. Disrupt that piece of shit billionaire. SHK, $10. When is our Bastille Day? Might be headed there. And you know what? That woman with the sign was very, very prescient in her sign. She had the sign from JFK, what JFK said. When they make peaceful resistance impossible, violent revolution is inevitable. To be clear, I'm not calling for violence, but it is at some point, if you keep your knee on the proletariat's neck for long enough, if you deprive them health care, if you make them work 2 to 3 jobs, if you keep laying off workers and replacing them with robots, eventually people fight back. And if you make it so that their peaceful protest gets no effect, people are going to take different measures. That's just throughout history. That's the reality. New Status Coup members. Radiant signed up. Kate signed up. Z signed up. Michelle signed up. New member John. New member Jerry. New member Guy. New member Annie. New member Tara. Thank you so much for all the new members. If you're new to Status Coup, subscribe. We recently passed 400,000 subscribers. I don't know what we're at right now. I think 415,000 subscribers. But our reporting is independent, and we are one of the few outlets routinely on the ground. So if you got 16 cents a day, statuscoup.com/join. Let's go back and listen.
exchange.
And has bought the federal government in exchange.
Entire offices are being disbanded.
Entire offices are being disbanded.
People are going to die.
People are going to die.
That is why we'll be back.
That is why we'll be back.
We'll be back because this works.
We'll be back because this works.
We'll be back because hundreds of actions around the country have disrupted Tesla stock so much that they have tanked Elon's net worth. We'll be back because this is how you stop a coup. So be back here next Saturday. The Saturday after next. Week after week after week. Because this is how we topple the Musk-Trump regime. We'll be back.
We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Jordan, hey, it's Teddy. Hey, I don't know if you remember me. We talked about climate stuff, climate defiance before.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
I'd love to interview you.
Thank you.
Can I interview you?
You loved it? I'm sorry, I just understood what you said. You want to do it here?
Let's get over here. So I'm here. Let's also remember that as part of what Trump and co-president Musk are doing, they got out of the climate Paris Accords. They're gutting critical positions at the EPA and other environmental programs. I'm here with Teddy. He's with Climate Defiance, which is a great environmental group that has disrupted fuckers like Joe Manchin and other people, basically bought off coal and fossil fuel politicians. Teddy, tell me, I'd see more energy here than I do any elected Democrat. Tell me about the energy here and the fact that we're seeing more protests among people than we are the Democratic Party.
That's right. Well, the Democratic Party is failing us right now, and they failed us so hard that the Musk-Trump regime is now in power. And the greatest existential threat that this planet is facing is its fascism, is its oligarchy, is environmental collapse that we're facing as a result. But what we know and what we're seeing here is that it's more legible than ever, the stakes that we face. It's not going to be enough to simply coordinate our outfits and wear pink in the House. It's going to take mass disruptive direct action week after week. This is an unprecedented moment in American history. And so people are going to have to rise up to physically show up to things like this constantly, to show our power. We're toppling a regime is what's happening. It's going to have to happen.
You know what really stands out to me about this? Because for about 2 years now, I've been, trying in a constructive way to say to the protest movement, protest is great, but you got to start economically protesting. We got to start hitting the donors where it hurts in their wallet, because the way you get change is through hurting the oligarchs who control the politicians. So I like the fact that this protest is targeted specifically to hurt Tesla, because Musk will care if Tesla goes down the shitter. Musk will care if he's the world's richest man. He's not exactly going to go poor, but his net value is going down as Tesla goes down. What do you think of this approach that they're trying specifically to target Tesla?
I think it's I think it's going to work, and I think it has to work. We see in protest movements around the globe that tackling the main antagonists of our economic systems, these oligarchs, these mega capitalists, these ultra-rich one-percenters, these billionaires that have, we've just seen it happen, literally purchased the American government. People are going to die as a result of the offices he's disbanding. Pandemics are going to erupt around the world because our funding for organizations have been slashed because of him, and it's all for his profit. They speak the language of profit. We're going to go after that profit. We're going to tank them. and it's going to take mass disruptive action to get there. It's not enough to stay online, to like stuff, to coordinate our outfits. That's not going to cut it. We got to get people in the streets. We got to be shutting these businesses down until it's not viable anymore.
Let me ask you, because something that I think is very alarming, Musk and his little unelected group of teenagers, they're using AI, artificial intelligence, to compile lists of government workers to fire. They were going to use AI to respond to that stupid email, give me your 5 bullets of what you did this week. A lot of people think this is just a test run. They're using AI to slash government, and then they're going to use it much, much bigger in the private sector, so companies like Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, Walmart can lay off more workers and use AI.
Yeah, no, exactly. AI is easily one of the most insidious developments that we've experienced these past couple of years, and it's sort of like snuck up on us, because I think also congressional Democrats have been embracing it as something that we should accept as like an economic developer. It's the artificial intelligence. It's an intelligence that is measured off of how much profit it can make for those who are already rich. It's how to make the rich richer and how to exploit the poor. That's what the intelligence is that's being measured by AI right now, that is being used to exploit people. And so
a Republican congressman, I don't remember his name, just proposed a bill to have AI start prescribing medicine over doctors.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. It's filthy, and again, they're automating things that do not need to be automated simply because it like floods rich people's bank accounts. And AI also as an industry already uses about as much energy globally as the aviation industry. So everything you've heard about the aviation industry, that oil and gas is getting burned. We're torching our planet in order to use this useless and economically exploitative industry. So it's gotta come to a stop. And we know that Musk is a huge proponent of AI. Why? Because he can further exploit and take control and create buffers between himself and any governmental constitutional system as he seizes and steals power.
Do you see this? Do you see this a promising development? Because on one hand, we've seen Republicans protesting at town halls, confronting their own Republican congressmen, and we're also starting to see more traditional Democrat voters turn around and get pissed off at the Democratic Party. Do you see this as somehow Musk and Trump, their actions are turning partisan, tribal, political people against their own parties? Does this create an opening possibly for people to look to vote for more independents, a third party, etc.?
Yeah, look, we'll see what happens in terms of the two-party system, the duopoly that we have. But what we do know and what we're seeing is that people are not fighting left to right or right to left. They're starting to learn to fight up. They're starting to learn to fight and go after the billionaires that are torching our planet, that are killing people here, that are racist bigots, that want to divide us and hurt us. And so especially in the climate justice movement, all of this is baked into one, right? We're facing an existential crisis, and right now it's just reached its peak, I think. And we have a choice nationally. People can rise up physically, shut this shit down, and we might see a glimmer of hope because it's all at this pinpoint now. It's all so legible for us. So I am seeing that hope.
And my last question, obviously this is against Tesla, but none of this is going to matter if our planet burns down. So can you talk about the current stakes? I mean, we're seeing the wildfires in California, severe drought. We're seeing every summer, it's like this week or this day was a record temperature. Even some conservatives who always mocked it are starting to feel the effects of climate change. What are the stakes with this Trump? Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. They're trying to get rid of even the environmental impact studies so that you could just expedite pipelines. They're trying to remove contracts for wind, renewables. Talk about the stakes for the climate.
The stakes couldn't be higher for the climate right now, and that was already true under the Biden administration. I mean, I think Biden managed to usher in a fascist regime by being the most milquetoast, I think, feckless corporate Democrat that he could. And he was not taking the action that we needed to see on climate.
Actually, Biden, instead of calling for a climate emergency, he held a press conference announcing cooling centers. More cooling centers, if that gives you an idea.
Right. So they're obsessed with the idea of covering their asses with strategies to mitigate suffering because of how do you mitigate suffering because of the climate crisis when you are flooding the industry with subsidies to torch our planet, to drill baby drill? I mean, that was already Biden's policy. But now with Trump, we are seeing him dismantling any progress that was made around manufacturing for renewables, for example, the Paris Climate Accord, things that could have been binding if the U.S. were to sit and commit with them for years going forward. We also know that, like, the likes of Trump and Elon, I mean, they care about power and they speak the language of money. They don't care. They don't care about the environment. They're not going to react also to messaging around the planet burning, even if they understood it to be true. Even as, you know, they're going outside and saying they're climate denialists. Even if we think privately they know it to be true, they do not care. They're here to enrich themselves and empower themselves. But right now we have a moonshot chance to go after the very system that put them in power, which is racial capitalism, which is the fossil fuel industry. And if we can do that, we might have a glimmer of hope for this country and the world's most vulnerable people.
We got about, last time I checked, 8,000 people watching. Tell them about climate defiance.
Yeah, so I'm with a group called Planet Over Profit currently, and we partner a lot with Climate Defiance. These are both disruptive direct action groups that have had enough seeing the inaction of corporate Democrats, seeing the inaction of local leaders. Planet Over Profit is a youth-led direct action group taking the fight for climate justice directly to the people responsible for the crisis we face. That's billionaires and their allies in office. So we've disrupted countless people here in New York. We organized this protest today along with our movement allies, and we've gone after the likes of Elon Musk. A year ago, I was arrested for protesting Elon Musk, disrupting him on stage, fossil fuel CEOs constantly. And these protests work because we are directly humiliating the people responsible for these crises that we face. Today, you know, we're outside of this building. We went inside, we occupied this showroom, but oftentimes it's most effective to find these people where they're speaking, where they feel like they can be honored, where they feel safest, and get right next to them and humiliate them in front of everyone in that room and people the world over who know that they deserve to be called out for the bullshit and called out for the harm that they're causing world over. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Teddy. All right. So you still got people out here, stop the coup signs. Elon Musk is a welfare queen. That's the most crazy part of all this. Musk has gotten $38 billion. Say it with me. $38 billion. This fraud has gotten from the government. At one point, Tesla was going under. Musk was bailed out by the government to keep Tesla going, just like Trump was bailed out by his daddy because his Atlantic City casinos were going under, and his dad bailed him out. And they want to lecture the American people about waste, fraud, and abuse. They want to lecture people about pull yourself up by your bootstraps. These people haven't had to pull themselves up their entire life. It's a joke, and there are real stakes here. Let me repeat, if you're coming to this late, and by the way, we just passed 416,000 subscribers. So we're on the march to 500,000. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends, your family, your animals, I don't care. Get them to press that subscribe button. There are very, very few independent, let me repeat, independent outlets that are routinely on the ground. John behind the camera is routinely covering protests. He's covered over 100 of the ceasefire pro-Palestine protests. The footage on January 6th, 2021, where that cop's head was rammed into the door by the Trump mob. That was my cameraman, John, who got that footage. He was just in Northern California. You might not know if you're watching because the media is not covering it. There was a massive, massive lithium battery storage facility that went on fire in January in Northern California. Why should it matter to you? Because the lithium battery fire is in an area called the Salad Bowl of America. Those farms produce 70% of our vegetables. People as far as 50 miles away are sick. Nosebleeds, headaches, chemical burns on their skin, dizziness, troubled breathing. I've been hearing more about people in the area having seizures, and independent testers have found that the soil is contaminated by heavy metals from that fire. He just did a documentary on that for us. So, as far as I know, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all the others, they're not out here routinely on the ground. We are. And we're doing it with a shoestring budget and funding just from you, the people. So please, please support us, statuscoup.com/join. I should mention, I got here a few minutes late, but there were about, what do you say, John, about 5 or 6 protesters that were arrested inside the showroom. So there were people that put their bodies on the line inside. The New York City police force, as usual, doing the important work of protecting Capitol. So you got the cops out here. Let me see if I can talk to more people. Can I speak with you folks? Sure. Let me show you the signs. Elon Musk is a welfare queen, $38 billion in government contracts. Stop the coup, Delon. I want to zero in on this because it's just amazing. This man is lecturing the American people about waste, fraud, and abuse while he's gotten $38 billion in free money from the government. Can you talk about that?
Well, most of his money has come from government contracts. When he bought Tesla, it was going under. He got a loan from the government. He hasn't paid any taxes on Tesla since, I think, for 1 year since 2018. He hasn't paid a single tax on Tesla. My husband is a 100% disabled veteran. The services at the Manhattan VA have already been under a great strain, and now they're facing, I mean, I'm there every week. I'm a primary caregiver, and the people there are being barraged by Musk, which is interfering with the critical care they're doing, and the morale is really low. The therapist that my husband sees says that every day they have to have meetings, and because the administrator is a Muskist and a Trumpist, they have to answer Musk's emails. They have to give 5 reasons why they should remain employed. I'm terrified for my husband, especially my husband. I'll start crying. I cry all the time.
You know, it's real people that are on the line here. He fought for the country, a veteran, and he's having to deal with this later on in life when...
My husband's 80 years old, and he's not, I mean... He's been through, she knows, he's been through so much from Agent Orange. And, but his impulse, I have to tell him, I'm sorry, they won't accept you. He wants to go to Ukraine and fight. He's so angry and enraged. And so he wants to go fight for democracy. And I mean, he because he was lied to as a young boy in Vietnam. And then he was at Kent State. He went back to school at Kent State, and he was on the hill that day.
Quite the life he's had.
Yeah, his psychiatrist says he is the super intelligent version of, what's his name, Tom Hanks, A Box of Chocolates.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, the intelligent Forrest Gump.
You know, what's so disgusting to me about it, Republicans forever have used the flag as their little prop. We're the party of the veterans. They're laying off tens of thousands of veterans. 30% of the government workers are veterans.
Yes.
Not that there's no waste, fraud, and abuse, but there's a way. There's a way of targeting excess. Not with a chainsaw. You use a scalpel.
I made this during the first Trump administration, but I just put Elon in this morning.
and his anyway.
His buzzsaw. I'd like to take it.
I don't know. I think so much waste and abuse has been created by willy-nilly, firing people that they have to hire back because, oops, we need your work, we need your expertise. It's being done by like 20-something kids who don't know anything about what the government can do and what we need in our lives. And I'm just so angry that some unelected guy is going to determine access to Medicare, Medicaid, and the solvency of Social Security. It's horrible.
I've stopped paying my federal taxes in honor of Thoreau and civil disobedience because I'm not going to pay for my own destruction. So I refilled out my W-4 form and stopped my federal.
It's amazing. I don't hear them talking at all about the $15 billion in free money we give to the fossil fuel industry in subsidies. We give subsidies to Wall Street. We give subsidies to Big Pharma. I mean, basically the government, under both parties, gives free money to all the special interests. They're not looking into that at all.
No. We're gonna make veterans suffer. We're gonna make farmers suffer. We're gonna make all the people who were saved through ASID suffer. We're gonna make
We're murdering people.
we're gonna make people who paid into Social Security and Medicare suffer. But we're not going to do anything about SpaceX shattering over the United States and shutting down 240 flights. That subsidy is somehow sacrosanct. Yeah.
What do you think? Because I got to be honest, I see more resistance from people than I do elected Democrats. Do you think they're doing enough?
No. I sat through an hour of that address, the excrement of lies that came out of that mouth. When Representative Green got up and was taken out, I thought so naively that was the plan, that one by one, each representative would stand up, make their point, be disruptive, and be escorted out. And he was the only one who had the guts to stay. I was disgusted.
And the Democrats, 10 Democrats voted to censor him.
Yeah.
And he was actually, what he said was, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid.
Yeah.
You would think they would have his back.
Which was a message the country needs to hear. This is not how our constitutional democracy works. He doesn't have a mandate to cut any government benefits. That's a perfectly good message that should have been echoed, as Steffi said, again and again and again.
And I don't understand, judges are ruling against him, but I don't see any movement to honor the judge's orders.
Yeah.
Kind of what happens in authoritarian.
Yeah. It took Hitler 53 days. It might take them a little longer if we don't.
And my last question to you.
Who are you?
I'm asking myself every day. Yeah, we're live actually. Status Coup, we're on YouTube. We're a progressive channel.
Oh, okay.
We kind of report on the ground all over the country. I published a book on Flint last year on the water crisis. Last question. Where does this go from here? Because MAGA is going to feel it too. They're on Medicaid.
The majority of veterans voted for Trump, which breaks my heart.
Do you see, you're already seeing some Republicans at town halls fight back. Do you feel like this could be, if Trump continues with this, if Musk continues with this, more and more MAGA could kind of open their eyes a little bit?
I don't think the hardcore, as we call the cultist maggots, as I call them, I don't see them turning, but I think the people who went from Biden, Trump, you start taking money that people have been working to earn their entire lives. I don't know when the Democrats are going to. I'm really disappointed in Hakeem Jeffries. I thought he would be a better leader.
What's your name?
I'm Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
What's your name?
Jordan.
Jordan.
You could watch this on Status Coup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
No, we've been around for a few years.
new? Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. So that's a Cybertruck, which I got to just say, no offense if you're watching, that is one of the ugliest motherfucking cars I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, did you see the political cartoon taken from Tiananmen Square?
Yes.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yes, I did.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
That is the ugliest fucking car.
That's what I was saying.
I did another collage of a 1938 VW with the swastika and the Tesla with the X. They're the same.
Good luck to your husband. I hope everything works out.
And what about our transgender children who are in the military? And they're going to probably not only lose their careers, never mind jobs and health care and everything else, but they're also going to have a hard time getting back in the States if Trump promotes
And I think
no transgender into the United States, because they're overseas right now.
I think what you just mentioned is important, because I think Trump and the Republicans are doing a very good job of distracting people and getting people to, look at the transgender people while they're screwing you in every other way. They're trying to basically create others.
Yes, and Trump and his cronies are those others that so many of us detest because they're threatening our democracy.
He went up to the guy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You're intimidating. As usual, we're one of the last ones standing. The crowd has dissipated a little bit. There's still some folks on the other side. This is hilarious. There's a Cybertruck, which I guess is Elon's new thing. It looks like it's some ugly fucking thing from Back to the Future. I don't know anyone that would drive that. I'm sorry if you're watching and you drive it, but that is ugly, and it's obscenely expensive to drive a weird cylinder box. But anyway, different story. Before we close out, let me give more shout-outs. Thank you to everybody who has been watching. I think when I looked, we were over 8,000 viewers at one point. I don't know what we're at now, but we had over 8,000. We've gone down a little bit, but still almost 6,000 watching. Thank you to everyone that's been watching. To be clear, if you're new here, this is not our first rodeo. We are routinely on the ground. Unfortunately, because of YouTube and, algorithmic suppression, a lot of people don't know about us. They don't routinely see us in their feeds. But we cover protests on the ground routinely. We are not Team Blue or Team Red. Frankly, I think both parties are corrupt, and I've been saying that for years. I think what Trump and Musk doing is taking it to a whole new level. But let's not pretend that corruption just started under Donald Trump. We've had corruption in this country for decades, okay? When you have a system where literally our government is based on legalized bribery, where Democrats and Republicans are being purchased by Wall Street, by the fossil fuckers, by Big Pharma, by big real estate, by Silicon Valley, by the military-industrial complex, okay? The corruption was there. It was there under Clinton. It was there under Obama. It was there under Bush. It's just now on steroids in your face. They've taken it more. Before it was kind of backstage in the back room, the political bosses smoking cigars behind the scenes in the back room. Now it's just on center stage. They're not hiding it. But I want to be clear, what Trump and Musk are doing is at a whole nother level, okay? This is beyond corruption. You have Trump literally hosting dinners at Mar-a-Lago and charging business people $1 million to $5 million to dine with him, and then giving them favorable government contracts. That is illegal in most countries, okay? You got an unelected billionaire who, frankly, seems to be a bit of a drug addict, if we're being honest. I watch Elon Musk. He sounds a little on something at times, to me. And there's been reports about his ketamine use. But putting that aside, you have an unelected billionaire who has gotten $38 billion of free money from the government. $38 billion! While the Republican Party is complaining about poor people who get $38 in money that they shouldn't be getting. You got Elon Musk, $38 billion in free money. What has he done since Donald Trump has handed him the keys to the government? He's taking contracts that the government gave, for example, a contract that was given to Verizon. He's saying, Verizon, they're not doing a good job on whatever this contract is, so we're canceling it, and I'm going to, instead of having an open process so that other companies can bid for the contract, I'm going to take it for my company, Starlink. That is blatant corruption. Blatant. There was a contract. This has not gotten a lot of attention, and in normal circumstances, it would be front page news. Under the Biden administration, Biden, I think towards the end, they they set a contract with Tesla for about $462,000. So $462,000 for Teslas. The government wanted armored, some type of Teslas. I don't know for what purpose. When Elon Musk was handed the keys to the government by President Trump, they went in, Musk and his boys, they went in, they backdated the contract. They changed it from $462,000 to $400 million for armored Teslas. And then when Ryan Grimm and Drop Site News, they broke this story, when they exposed that Elon Musk had changed the contract from $462,000 to $400 million for armored Teslas, just what the government needs, right? More armored Teslas. Then they changed it from Teslas to electric vehicles. Can you imagine what Fox News would be doing if that happened under Obama or Biden? Can you imagine? Oh, my father, if you're watching, Larry, you would be going fucking nuts, my father, who's MAGA, God bless him, if this happened under Republicans. So this is absolutely vile, vile. And the stakes are critically important. Let me be clear. I don't care if you're a leftist watching. I don't care if you're conservative watching. I don't care if you're a libertarian. I don't care if you have no labels. I'm all for finding excess jobs or waste, fraud, and abuse. Of course, there is excess and waste, fraud, and abuse in government. But to be clear, when you start cutting air traffic controllers, planes crash. And guess what? There are progressives, conservatives, and libertarians on those planes. MAGA, you are not protected. You are not exempt from the plane crashes. All right, our battery's about to die? All right, so let me real quick. Support Status Coup, statuscoup.com/join. I will very quickly, how much longer we got? All right, our battery's going to die, so I will very, very quickly speed round through this. Hold on.